I just wanted a job, nothing fancy, just enough to pay rent and maybe buy something better than ramen for dinner. So when Rosefield Pines Assisted Living posted an ad for night shift janitorial staff, I applied the same day. They hired me the next. No interview, no background check, just a clipboard, a badge, and a mop. My name's Kevin Ortiz. I'm 23. No degree, no plan, just tired. And that building? It felt tired too. Rosefield Pines looked like a 1970s hospital that never got upgraded. Flickering hallway lights, peeling wallpaper, a piano in the lobby that hadn't been tuned since Reagan. But the people, well, they smiled. Mostly, some were kind, some were gone in the eyes, and some you never saw at all. On my first night, the supervisor, Miss Hendricks, gave me a map. Most rooms were standard, 1A through 5F, but Wing D was crossed out. I asked why. She said, closed for renovations. Don't worry about it. But I'm curious, always have been. So on night 3, I brought my own flashlight, just to look. Wing D smelled like dust and bleach, no renovation tools, no signs, just old silence. Half the rooms were locked, others empty. But room D7? That door was different. It had no handle, just a keyhole, and a security camera above it, the only one I'd seen all night. Next day, I asked Manny, another janitor, about it. He laughed. Forget that wing, man. They don't want us near it. I tried once, got docked a week's pay. Why? He shrugged. Some old patient, dangerous or confused, they keep him in there. No visitors, not on the records. That didn't sit right with me, so I waited for the camera to blink off. And when it did, I used my old credit card trick. Click. Door opened. The room was dim. One bed, one tray table, a wall lined with medals, framed, labeled, Purple Heart, Bronze Star, Silver Star. And in the corner, an old man, eyes open, staring. He didn't flinch when I stepped inside, didn't speak, just looked at me. I said, "Sir, are you okay?" He blinked once, then looked at the medals, then back at me. I stepped closer. He whispered, barely audible. I kept the hill. They promised they'd remember. I didn't know what to say, didn't even know his name. No chart, no bracelet, just a plain hospital gown and slippers. But taped to the wall, behind the medals, was a photo, black and white, 5 soldiers, and one of them looked just like him. I backed out of the room, shut the door, didn't sleep that day. The next night I asked Hendricks about D7. She narrowed her eyes. You don't get paid to snoop, Ortiz. Do your job. I said, who is he? She replied, no one, and you're lucky to still be employed. But now I couldn't stop thinking about him, about the medals, the whisper. They promised they'd remember. So I checked the facility logbook. No one listed in D7, no medical file, no family contact. I checked the state registry. Nothing. It was like he didn't exist. That's when I called my uncle. He's retired military. I described the medals, the insignia. He said, sounds like someone from the 173rd, maybe Korea, maybe Vietnam. If he got all 3 of those, he was a real one. Then he asked, you say he's got no name? I said, only one word written on the photo frame. Marlowe. He went quiet, then said, I knew a Marlowe, Staff Sergeant James Marlowe, served in Korea and Vietnam, disappeared in the 80s. Family said he had issues. VA lost his trail. I looked back at the photo, same jawline, same eyes. Could it be? I printed it, brought it to the man the next night, held it out. Is this you? He looked, eyes softened. Then he whispered, they said I'd forget, but I never did. He said his name slowly, like it was a word he hadn't used in years. James Marlowe. Then quieter, Staff Sergeant. 2 tours Korea, 1 in Vietnam. I kept the hill. They promised they'd remember. I asked him why he was here. He said, I don't know. One day I was at a clinic, then a van, then this room. He didn't know the year, didn't know the state, but he knew names. Turner, McGill, Lopez, his unit, men who probably never made it home. He said he used to write letters, said he had a daughter. Melinda used to braid my hair when I got back from the field, called me Jungle Dad. I asked if he ever saw her. He shook his head. They said I was too unstable, said I needed help. Help turned into walls. Walls turned into silence. I left that night with shaking hands. I couldn't sleep. Instead, I dug. Harder. Online forums, military databases, public archives, and I found it. James A. Marlowe, born 1932, Silver Star citation dated 1969. Lost in VA system 1987, no death record. No pension withdrawal since 1995. But then, a strange detail. In 96, a court document declared him legally deceased due to prolonged absence, filed by a private care company, Wellspring Behavioral Services, the same group that manages Rosefield Pines. They had him declared dead, then kept him. Off the books, no visitors, no tracking, no accountability. I printed everything, brought it to my supervisor. Hendricks looked at it once, then shredded it in front of me. This never happened. You're on probation, Ortiz. Try something like this again, and you're gone. That night, I didn't go home. I went back to Wing D, snuck in with a screwdriver. Marlowe was awake, staring at the wall. I sat down beside him, showed him the photo again. You're real. I found records. They said you died, but I know you didn't. He looked at me, eyes glassy, but alive. You believe me? I nodded. He smiled, whispered, then maybe I'm still here. I started recording him, just voice notes, little things, names, dates, memories. He said his favorite food was lemon pie. Said he once carried a wounded lieutenant 6 miles uphill. Said he woke up every night at 2:47 a.m. That's when the shell hit. Third tour. I never stopped hearing it. Next day, I emailed a veterans advocacy group, sent them everything. They replied in 2 hours. We're coming. Do not confront the facility. We'll handle it legally. But someone found out. 2 nights later, my badge didn't work. Security stopped me, said I was suspended for misconduct. No warning, no hearing, just gone. I went straight to Marlowe's room. Door locked, no camera light, no sound. I knocked. Nothing. I shouted, Sarge, it's me, Kevin. Still nothing. I waited outside until sunrise. Then a nurse I'd never seen walked by. I asked where D7 was. She frowned. That wing's been empty for years. I showed her the photo. She stepped back. I don't know anything. I just clean linens. They were burying him again. So I made one more call to a friend who ran a YouTube channel about military history. She had 80,000 subscribers. I sent her the voice recordings, the photo, the documents, everything. She uploaded a video titled Missing Hero Found Locked in Nursing Home, the true story of Sergeant James Marlowe. It hit 2 million views in 36 hours. Fox News called me, then CNN, then the VA. A senator issued a statement. We will not tolerate any abuse of those who serve this nation. That night, a black car pulled up outside my apartment. 2 men in suits stepped out. One handed me a letter. Kevin Ortiz, by federal order, you are required to appear in court as a witness in the investigation of Wellspring Behavioral Services. I asked about Marlowe. They paused, then one said, he's alive, thanks to you. The hearing took place in a federal courthouse. Glass walls, polished floors, empty faces. But the rows in the back, they were full. Veterans in dress uniforms, activists, cameras, and me, Kevin Ortiz, former janitor. Now witness. When they called my name, I stood tall, hands shaking, heart pounding. But I told it all, from the mop bucket to the locked door, from the medals to the man with no name, from the whispers to the shutdown. The room was silent. Then they asked, "Why didn't you report it sooner?" I said, "Because I was scared." But he was alone, and sometimes being scared isn't a reason. It's a failure. They brought in the Wellspring executives. Stiff suits, lawyers like sharks. They denied everything, called it isolated mismanagement, claimed Marlowe was a unique case, that he'd refused contact, that they had his consent. But the tape said otherwise. The voice notes, the video, the proof. Then they called him in. James Marlowe, in a wheelchair, medals pinned across his chest, clean shaved, new coat, but same eyes, sharp, alive. The judge asked if he wished to speak. He nodded, wheeled himself forward, then into the microphone said, "I served this country. I bled for it. And for 30 years I was erased, not by war, by paperwork, by people who thought silence meant consent." He paused, then added, "But someone listened. Someone knocked on a locked door, and that's why I'm here." He turned to me, smiled. "Private Ortiz, permission to salute." I stood, choked up, raised my hand. "Permission granted, Staff Sergeant." He saluted. So did half the room. The hearing ended with a ruling: Wellspring's federal contracts revoked, executives fined and barred from elder care, new oversight laws introduced. But none of that mattered as much as what happened next. They found his daughter, Melinda. She'd spent years thinking he'd died, had lit a candle every Veterans Day. She flew in from Arizona, met him at the VA center. She hugged him for 6 minutes straight. He cried once, then asked, "You still braid hair?" She laughed. "Only if you sit still." The story went global. Forgotten soldier found after 30 years. They called me the janitor who brought a hero back. But I didn't feel like a hero. I felt lucky. Lucky I opened that door. Lucky I heard him speak. Lucky I was in the right place when no one else was listening. Marlowe moved into a private veterans residence. Quiet, clean, no locks. He sits by the window every morning, reads, waves at the staff, keeps a photo of his daughter on the table, and on the wall, the medals he almost lost forever. As for me, I finished my GED, took a part-time job at the same VA center, and every week I visit Marlowe, bring him lemon pie. Sometimes we sit in silence. Other times he tells stories, real ones, scary ones, and the kind that make you think maybe, just maybe, there's still honor in this country, because heroes don't always die in battle. Sometimes they get buried in paperwork, and sometimes it takes a janitor to dig them out. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more of that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.